sea of the dying and shameless, a sea of the aimless. I don't wanna be one of the nameless. I'ma wake up with the mindset that one day I'm gonna make it, and I don't think I'll be fine if I don't break my limitations. Don't try to stop me, I exist to write my own story. I'll make a decision if I want some peace or if I want the glory, yeah.
Hey everyone, Luke Ruth here, wanting to bring you a fishing report for Stockton Lake. It's getting to be the middle of September. Fishing's starting to pick up. Not a lot of big bass being caught, but the keepers are starting to come back around. I do think the fishing's picking up on Stockton Lake. It hasn't been a good summer. Worst summer I can remember, so you got to go out there with an open mind. You got to fish the conditions. Right now it's really important to fish the conditions. You get a windy, nasty day, you can throw a lot of moving baits, a lot of fun baits to throw. You get slick and sunny, it gets pretty tough. You kind of got to pick your battles and maybe back off and drag some lures around. So let's talk about what's been working for me. I don't have my tackle right now. I don't have any of my rods. They're in my partner's boat. So I'm going to give you the best examples I got with what I had back here on my pegboard. I'm going to talk about a few other things. I may even roll over some videos of some catches we had this last weekend in Joe Bass. So number one bite's going to be a topwater, and one topwater in particularly, it's been a buzzbait. We've been catching lots of bass on a buzzbait. My partner, when my Joe Bass video comes out, you'll see he walloped them on a buzzbait. Buzzbait's been a really, really good bite. Up pretty shallow. We're fishing that 1 to 3 foot range, guys. We're getting in the backs of some of the pockets, some of the creeks, looking around. Buzzbait really, really working over at Stockton Lake right now. Whopper plopper bite's okay. It's not really the best, I would say. It's coming. It's working its way. There's some fish doing the whopper plopper deal. Windy, main lake, secondary points. You got to have wind, though. If you ain't got no wind, you might as well just leave the whopper plopper laying on the deck. They ain't going to bite it. They ain't going to touch it. So another bite's been working for us. Little Fluke. This is an old Zoom Super Fluke. Nothing real fancy. I like to put this big treble hook on the bottom of it, especially when I'm fishing it in open water, maybe windy conditions, not around a lot of cover. Helps me hook up with some more fish. I really, really like this right here. Just put a little stop up here on top like you would for your spinnerbaits trailer and roll on down the road. This is one of my favorite little lures to throw in the fall time. You see those shallow water brush piles or stumps, everybody else is throwing top water up by you. Take this little Fluke, twitch it right by it. It's going to get you a lot of bites here in the fall time. Motion fishing swim jig's been catching some fish. Swim jig and a spinnerbait. Yeah, I got a windy day last week. I went out in the main lake. Heck, I never left side of Crabtree Cove and caught a lot of fish on a spinnerbait. I've had a lot of wind, a lot of smallmouth, a lot of smallmouth biting in the main lake right now. I would suggest a spinnerbait if you're out in the main lake. You want to go a little further up the rivers. You want to fish a little shallower. Try out that motion fishing 3/8 or quarter ounce swim jig. Swimming around some of those shallow trees, tree tops, some stumps. Make sure the water's a little more off color. That's why I like the swim jig more. But out in the clear water, the spinnerbait fish, they were really hitting the spinnerbait. This purple, clear and kind of purple color. Lots of smallmouth, lots of little smallmouth. Few keeper smallmouth, but the smallmouth bite's getting ready to be really, really hot over Stockton. If you guys want to come over and you've never caught a bunch of smallmouth, now's a great time to come over to the lake and fish for some smallmouth. The cranking bite's getting better every day. I've been throwing, I caught a 5-pounder on a Friday night. I hope I can throw it up here. If not, then I don't know why I held my finger up. But Gold Flash, Cornerstone 1.5. Been fishing it up the river a little bit. Caught me a 5-pounder on the Friday nighter. Got third in the Friday nighter championship. $14.94, pretty good bag, but we had that big one kind of saved the day. Cranking bite's coming along. Square bill bite. Not quite to the wiggle wart bite yet, but we're going to be getting close here soon to a wiggle wart bite. You need that weather. Once the turnover happens is when I kind of tie the wiggle warts back on, and I think we're 2-3 weeks away from the turnover. It may even be happening in some parts of the lake, and some of the water looks a little nasty in some places, but not too bad yet. So don't forget to tie on a wiggle wart. Say I love those Cornerstone. They got great hooks, great components, 1.5 killer action. I haven't had any problems out of them. Going back to the topwater train, I've been throwing bone. This is the only example I have. This is a Cornerstone Lures Big Swift. This has been... Everybody loves throwing a spook, and I'm the same. I love throwing a spook. I like throwing it around cover. I'm not a real big fan just working it down the bank, but if I got some cover I'm trying to throw it at, I'm a big fan of the Big Swift. Caught me some big fish in the springtime, and it's starting to come back around this fall. If you guys ain't got a walking bait tied on, everybody throws Spook Juniors. This thing comes with premium treble hooks, premium components. No reason to change anything out. You guys are looking for a great spook-style bait. The Big Swift's going to get her done. Small swim baits, been working out by day. Like I said, lots of smallmouth out there. This is just a white Kitech swing impact fat. I think it's a 2.8 inch, little quarter ounce, 1/8 ounce ball head. Reeled around the windy main lake point, guys. The smallmouth are really chewing. You go out and probably catch 50 smallmouth if you reeled around this little swim bait all day. Haven't caught many good ones yet. Doesn't mean they're not coming. As soon as that water cools off, the bigger fish are just going to keep moving up shallow. If you want to go fish out deep, I've been fishing out deep a little bit. The deep bites got a little funky. Lots of Lots of suspended fish. I haven't been chasing around. Not hardly any fish schooling if you come over to the lake. So the brush pile bite, you can catch some fish out of brush piles. Motion fishing, gill candy, flipping jig, Hogzilla creature bait, 10-inch worm, 7-inch worm. Kind of your preference on the bait you throw in there. If you find a bait they're biting, definitely stick to it. They're definitely not biting all the baits every day, so you kind of got to find one they're biting on, keep them going on that. As far as a dragon bite goes, I haven't been getting a ton of dragon bites, but I also haven't been dragging a ton. If I was, it's going to be that motion fishing flash mock football jig. That's what I have been getting bites on when I do drag. I just like to cover water this time of year. We're in that transition phase. Fish are kind of moving from deep to shallow. Lots of things happening. I'm imitating a lot of shad right now, and I'm moving my boat fast. I'm not sitting in one spot very long. I'm looking for where the bass are feeding. I'm looking for lots of that shallow water cover. If I can find that, you've had the right recipes for some fish to be caught. We had some good days practicing last week. We ended up getting 10th in Joe Bass, $9.99. Like I said, not a great weight. We caught several keepers, probably caught 2 limits of fish. Never had a kicker bite. Heard there was some better fish caught, out on some brush piles. They got, I'm not going to say they got lucky, but they caught that one fish. Everybody was looking for that 1 4 or 5 pound fish to really throw them up in the standings. We never got that bite. Braxton had lots of good days, had several 3-pounders, some big 2-pounders. I think I even had a 4-pounder one day, and then I caught the 5-pounder and a Friday nighter. I was thinking things were moving along. I thought I had the bite figured out, and we caught lots of fish. Like I said, we just never caught a big fish. So you guys are coming down to Stockton Lake, and you're looking to do some fishing. It should be getting into prime time of year. Usually through September is pretty tough. October gets a little bit better, and then we get into November and December. Hopefully the lake will come up a little bit. It's pretty brutal when the lake's as low as it is, but if they bring the lake up at all, gonna be some great wintertime fishing. You're talking A-rigs, jerkbaits, wiggle warts, all the stuff we like to do, football, jigs. So I may be offering some guide trips this fall. Getting ready to have a baby, may have a little time off work, maybe looking to make a little extra scratch. So I may have some guide trips available on Stockton Lake. I'm not real sure how I'm gonna do that yet. So stay tuned if you wanna see some of that. Maybe have a chance for y'all to go do some fishing out in the Stockton. But I appreciate y'all watching the reports and give me your feedback down in the comments. I love reading the comments about who's been to the lake, catching what. That's kind of why I do this. So if you guys could leave me a comment, tell me if you've been to the lake, tell me if you've been catching some fish. I really, really appreciate it. So till next week's report, I'm going to start trying to do a report every week or 2 weeks. I'm going to get back over to Palm Terre. I haven't fished Palm Terre forever. The reason I haven't gave a fishing report, I'm not going to tell you something I don't know. Brad Jelinek caught 27 pounds over Palm Terre last weekend on a motion fishing gill candy football jig, but besides that, the weights look pretty low, so I'm guessing the fishing's pretty tough over at Palm Terre. I'm going to get back over there soon and get y'all a report, though, so I appreciate y'all watching the channel. I appreciate y'all watching reports. Tell me if y'all like them or not, and until next time, we'll see y'all later.
Watch this Whopper plopper come back to the boat. Big. Before he gets rid of one of them skinny bastards. Number 4's gots to go. Boy, them chokars are getting them. Stop.